not trying to mess with you, Dawson.
That's
we got
so
a show
not
to
fair.
do. Welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians and lying corporate media. I'm Jake Duesenberg, your host today. We're broadcasting live from Roseville, Minnesota, in the belly of the beast, the zombie liberal apocalypse. It's so bad here, but it's if you're not watching from Minnesota, the reason it's so important to pay attention to what's going on here is we're kind of a red state. We're upper Midwest, and Democrats took over full control of this state. So if you want to see what the radical left agenda is like, pay attention to Minnesota. It could come to your state if you're in a red state. If you're in a blue state, communist state. By the way, look at this. This is so cool. One of the fans dropped this off. Robert dropped this off right before we went on air. Mm-hmm. This is my passport if I leave the communist state of Minnesota. Isn't that funny?
That is super cool.
Yeah. Although his map, he had to explain half the things on it because he's maybe a different generation than me. I didn't get a lot of them. He's like, that was the long-term mayor of St. Paul. I'm like, when? Like the 80s? This episode's brought to you by Alpine Cabinetry in East St. Cloud and Warren Wessel. Warren Wessel Realty. True story. I had Warren looking at a property for me. Give him a call. If you want to buy a home, sell a home, you know who to call. A trusted guy, someone who thinks just like you. Warren Wessel, his number, 612-419-7453. He's licensed in both Wisconsin and Minnesota. That's Warren Wessel, 612-419-7453. For the right home, he might get licensed in another state. I don't know. It depends how big a home you got. Mm-hmm. He might get licensed in another. I don't even know how that works. I just sold Warren services, and he never agreed to this. Isn't that crazy? Well, it's on you, Warren, for advertising on Truth Hurts show. Yep. By the way, we believe in him. What are we talking about today, MAGA Jesse?
Yep, well, today is caucus day in Minnesota, so there's things to go over on that front. And, of course, the Never Again bill has been reintroduced, this time with 27 co-sponsors. We've got an establishment candidate who caves and signs a endorsement pledge. We'll get into that story. Lee Finke wants an assault weapons ban. The Michigan primary is today, and then we'll also be going over some national stuff with Nikki Haley and Donald Trump.
Okay. You know, I actually forgot that the Michigan primary is before Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, big
oversight. Yeah, both the Republican and Democrat.
And I was just talking about the Michigan Democrat primary today, too. Should have known. The lovely Bridget, reading your comments. How you doing, Bridget?
Doing great. Always thrown off by this camera because sometimes it's close and sometimes it's far.
It's been mostly far lately, I think.
I don't know, maybe. But anyways, we have Tucker and Jam Teddy with us. And Tucker says, gotta love this Minnesota weather. Last night I was smoking moths with my windshield, and today it's cold, windy, and gonna snow. I hope it does not snow.
What's the difference between a moth and snow hitting your windshield, right? I think the snow. That was a terrible joke. What am I doing?
Was that a joke?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was, Dawson.
Yikes.
Make sure you comment here on Rumble. We might reach Facebook and YouTube and Rumble Rants. If you want to interrupt us anytime, make sure you hit a Rumble Rant, like and subscribe. Tells the algorithm to show it to more people. Running the dials, Mr. Deep State himself, Dawson.
Hello, everybody.
Well, hello to
Hope
you.
you're
What day
doing
is it? Is it arm day or leg day?
Tuesdays are always upper body day. I work out every single day we have a show. That's how I kind of bunch all of my torment together into Tuesdays and Thursdays so that the rest of the days are fun.
You know, Brad Ganser, big fan of the show, told me yesterday that he's going on a diet because we give him shit on the show. But the way I look at it is he gives us shit. It was just pushing it back at him, right?
Yeah, but he is learning from it. You don't.
And by the way, Brad, guys don't go on diets. We train, right? So you're just training.
I'm on a diet.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's get into this. Never Again Bill. This is on truthhurtsnews.com. By the way, we had this relationship with Action for Liberty. This was never really technically an Action for Liberty show, but obviously I was the president of Action for Liberty. We always shared the news articles on Action for Liberty. We're going to still promote the hell out of Action for Liberty, so go to actionforliberty.com. But a lot of our content is going to originate on truthhurtsnews.com. You don't just put up a website and all of a sudden have a ton of content. So I've been a little leery to promote this thing, but now we've got a lot going on here. So this is at truthhurtsnews.com, and this is the Never Again bill. Oh, I should also say we also have a different Twitter account now, which is my old account. I stopped twittering a long time ago, tweeting. And I reignited that account so that Truth Hurts actually has an account with followers. Otherwise, you have to start from scratch, right?
I didn't know that.
So there you go. Well, because we were using with Action for Liberty's Twitter account. So want to make sure we kept those things separate.
Let me know after the show, and I'll have to switch over on my end too.
There you go. I should have told you that before the show. All right, anyhow. The greatest travesty of liberty in our lifetime was the unilateral exercising of emergency powers by governors during the COVID-19 pandemic. Citing a need to slow the spread, governors like Minnesota's Tim Walz illegally took over lawmaking functions of government and enacted anti-freedom dictates like business shutdowns, mask mandates, experimental shots required for state workers, and even an order for citizens to stay in their home. I'll shut up real quick. We got a rumble around already.
Sorry. Brad Ganser, $10. Here is my early rant to combat you being mean to me. I have already messaged all 27 legislators.
Well, there you go, Brad. Yeah, and
He's on top of it.
Eric Mortensen had an email go out, Action for Liberty's new president, and talking about all the 27 people that have signed on to that bill. So that's what good old Brad Ganser is talking about. Governor Walz's orders were met with resistance by brave business owners who defied his orders and opened back up. We had on a show Lisa and Jane last week. Lisa Monet couldn't make it. We had Lisa Hansen. And then in case Lisa Hansen, obviously she ended up in jail for 6 days. Today, the Never Again bill was introduced in the Minnesota legislature. The important bill was initially authored in 2021 by Representative Eric Mortensen, who now serves as president of Action for Liberty. The Senate version of the bill, SF 4246, was authored by Senator Nathan Wiesenberg, Little Falls, and has the maximum amount of 4 co-authors. They cap it in the Senate for some reason. I don't know why they do that by rule. Walter Hudson has the House version. Now let's dive into this bill, and I'll tell you exactly why it's so important. I know this bill very well because I happen to be drinking whiskey with Eric Mortensen up at his cabin, moose shed hunting, while he was writing this bill, right? And I told him exactly what people like Jane Moss and Lisa Hansen wanted to see in the bill, right? So this bill, you know, truth be known, this bill was written by a lot of you guys out there. This was your frustrations with what the government did under COVID, and because Eric Mortensen was a rare breed of legislators who actually listens to the people, your wishes and desires got put in this bill. So let's click on HF 4246. We'll go to the Senate version here real quick, Dawson. And then click on the top left where it's got the language.
As introduced.
As introduced, yeah. All right, so first of all, it's known as the Unilateral Emergency Powers Repeal Act, okay? Or we call it the Never Again bill. Before they even get into the Chapter 12 emergency powers and starting to delete things, it was very important to specify right off the bat that if there is any kind of emergency powers in the future, the governor or anyone in the government can't do this. They can't infringe on the rights of the people in the state, the right of free speech, the right to exercise religious beliefs. Remember, they shut down churches. Liquor stores fully open, by the way. The right to assemble. Well, you know, BLM could always assemble, right? Yeah. It was only when like people on our side assembled there was a problem. The right to keep and bear arms, the freedom of travel, the right to operate a business or earn income. And it says that these orders carry the full force and effect of law, which is a power only granted to the Legislative Department under Article 4 of the Minnesota Constitution. Now, that's very important. Governor Walz should never been able to do any of the things he did because he never was giving lawmaking ability. It's so amazing that they write these emergency powers laws many, many years ago, and a governor comes along and goes, oh, okay, well, I can just go dictate what people do by my own orders. That's not the way the government works in America. But, you know, the courts didn't see it that way, which are crazy. All right, the other thing, and you guys can go read this bill. You can go to truthhurtsnews.com. But the important part is it goes into the chapters where it says how an order is declared. And it's like line 422, I think, Dawson. And it basically says that the only way this happens is by a vote of 2/3 of the legislature. Now, why 2/3? Okay, first of all, a governor can't just unilaterally declare there's an emergency, right? Because that's what can happen right now. The only way, once he declares an emergency, it can be taken away is the executive council of like 5 yes men. So that wasn't a real, true, fair, and balanced way. But the legislature then has to take it back. So what this does is it says governor can't just unilaterally declare an emergency. 2/3 of the legislature have to convene. And why 2/3? Because this thing can't be political. It has to be so obvious to everyone that it's an emergency that even 2/3, which is going to be probably Democrats and Republicans alike, agreeing there is an emergency and certain things need to be done. So this takes the politics out of it. And obviously during COVID, within months, I think most people would have been like, there's not a need for emergency powers where crazy things can happen. Now, even if an emergency is declared by 2/3, once again, there's a Bill of Rights. You can't take away those powers. I don't want to go through the rest of the bill. The bill takes away a lot of the bad things in the current law. It even gets rid of the ability for the governor to throw you in jail. So Lisa Hansen can never happen. So it does a lot of good things. Now, let's go back, Dawson, to this page here. And you'll see the, scroll back one page. You'll see HF 4257. Okay, so this is the commentary you're not going to get from anywhere else. All right, there is the list of co-authors. So like I said, Walter Hudson is the author of this, and then you got a list of 21 co-authors with Walter Hudson. Now, I look at that list, and I have insider knowledge, and Jesse has some insider knowledge, and Bridget's catching up a little bit on it because you were asking us questions.
Yeah.
So either you
and
or...
I just have seen how these guys work, a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Bridget was Eric Morrison's LA legislative assistant. And I look at this list, I go, there's some of these people on this list that have some primary challengers or some endorsement challengers. Because tonight's the caucus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not lost on me that this thing gets introduced. And here's the caucus. And all of a sudden you get guys on here who probably don't really agree with the bill, In fact, I'm looking right now, Brian Farr. Brian's not running again. And I know Brian because we actually served the military together. Brian refused to sign this bill 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have some people on here that probably signing it because they don't think it's going to go anywhere and they want to look good. Okay, I'm not saying that's Brian, but it is interesting. Brian went and signed this 2 years ago, and then there's some people on this list that they're worried about their endorsement challengers, so they're starting to play nice, which means you guys are winning, right? See, this is the thing. You go to caucus, you become delegates, you run for office, you challenge the establishment. What are they going to do? You either beat them, right, and then you get rid of a bad voting legislator, or in another case, you know what happens? They actually come your way. They do what you want them to do. It's a win-win situation. Now, they've only put their name on a bill, okay? I'm not out there going to go congratulate all these people yet. They've really done the most minimum thing possible. They've just put their name as a co-author on a bill. The next test is for them to push this thing on a vote. And that's where you'll see a bunch of rhinos not give a hand saying, I want a roll call vote on it. Mm-hmm. And that is something that Eric Morrison ran into all the time. Here's one other thing I'm going to say, and then we'll go to comments. I noticed, and Bridget, you were there firsthand. Do you remember the big thing that the rhinos always said about Eric Morrison? He doesn't accomplish anything.
Yeah, he gets nothing
You're
done.
useless. Last I checked, Eric Morrison, who's not even in the legislature anymore, has got his bill now introduced in the Senate and the House with 27 authors on it.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy was useless and unimportant up at the Capitol. To me, it sounds like this guy actually was very powerful, did a lot, and it's really because Eric Morrison's power comes from you guys getting behind somebody who has got great ideas. That's actually the MAGA movement in my regards. Mm-hmm. I got my personal issues with Trump as a person, although I don't know him as a person, so I try to be a little more reluctant to say it. I see the persona on TV, right? That's all I have to judge. And if I knew him in person, maybe he's a really good guy, right? But the MAGA movement's great. I love the MAGA movement. In fact, it's really bad to hear the Democrats and Biden himself say that MAGA extremists are the greatest threat to democracy. No, MAGA people are the hope that I have in the future. These are red-blooded Americans who love this country and will do anything, and they actually can understand the evil that's working against our great country. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the comments section here.
Brad says, Kosnick and Nadeau coming through strong on this one. And Newt 2727 says, John Kosnick, haha.
Yeah, Newt probably knows that. Yeah, Kosnick was an interesting one, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I know he's worried about some challenger.
Brad goes on to say, aren't you surprised at some of the names not co-authoring?
Well, Brad, I'd be interested on who you're referring to, because in the Senate, they're capped at 4 co-authors, so there might be a lot more people that would want to be on it, and they just can't. In terms of the House, good question. But you know what? People could still co-author. We can add more names to it. Yep. In fact, if you're Republican, Democrat legislator too, if your legislator's not on this, wouldn't this be great if it became bipartisan? Hey, where's that numbnuts, what's his name?
Finke? Can we get Finke on?
Where's Dave Lizagard on this issue? Come on, Dave. Show us you really believe in it, you con artist. Dave Lizagard, get on the Never Again bill. Wouldn't that be great? And then by the way, if Dave Lizagard gets on it, then we want a hearing. We want this guy making the movements.
Absolutely.
You know, people would think, oh, this could never pass. You know what? It actually could pass. All you need is 4 Democrats in in the House and 1 Democrat in the Senate.
Yeah.
And this thing passes. No, I take that back. The mask off. 5 in the House because Kurt Dowd resigned and his position won't get filled until late March? Do you remember when the special election
I can't
is?
remember.
Yeah. So the Democrats have a stronger majority thanks to Kurt Dowd. By the way,
But you're right. I mean, when the rubber will really meet the road on this one is when they introduce it in the House, when they actually, push a floor vote, and in the Senate too. But as you said, you need 7 hands or whatever it is in the House to be able to introduce and force
15.
a roll call vote on the floor. And once it's on the floor, that's when we'll see who's for real, because we might see of those people, how many of them will actually raise their hand to try to force that vote. I don't know how many will. I hope they all will. And there should be even more listed on that list. So we'll see what comes out of it. But you're right that we'll see exactly who's for real, who's for liberty, who wants to stop these mandates and everything once it's actually introduced, push on the floor, and voted on.
Who's the main author again?
Well, Weisenberg in the Senate and
Weisenberg.
Hudson in the House.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Walter Hudson in the House.
Are they going to force a vote on it?
They better.
I would imagine so, but that's probably
Hopefully.
not going to come until a little later in the session.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, people think, oh, this can't go anywhere. There's no chance. Yeah, it really can. Now, here's the deal. Tonight is the caucus, precinct caucus, okay? If you follow if you follow Action for Liberty, they talk a lot about this, okay? The importance of going to caucus. It's very simple. If you want to change things in the political world, you have to show up. If every patriotic Minnesotan who was upset about the tyranny of COVID and wants to see that never happen again showed up tonight and went to their caucus, okay? And you can go to your caucus. Like the law says anyone can go to caucus, okay? So if you showed up to caucus and overwhelmed the system with this issue alone, that would even force Governor Walz to have to sign it, right? Because all these guys are politicians. They're making politically calculated decisions. If I don't do what they say, is this going to hurt me at election time? And that's why Tim Walz ended up having to sign his own emergency powers, the ending of his emergency powers, because it became so politically toxic for him to be against it. I should say it became politically toxic for people in his party to still be on record voting to protect it, like guys like Dave Lizagard, right?
Yep.
Like if Governor Walz still had a shutdown at the time this guy was running for re-election, okay? Oh, he was not getting reelected. Not a chance. The only hope they had is enough people forgot. And by the way, that's what they're counting on, is they're counting on you doing nothing, staying at home watching Netflix, and just forgetting about what happened during COVID tyranny. I can't do that. I cannot forget about what happened. That's the greatest travesty to liberty in modern times, okay? So we got to do something about it. Go to caucus night. You can go to caucusfinder.com. That'll tell you exactly where to go for your caucus. Let's move on.
And it's also important to introduce the Never Again resolution
Yeah.
at your caucus, because if your legislator isn't on board with it, or even if they are, we want it in the platform so that they are obligated to follow through on their promises.
Brad just added that. He said go to AFRL.com, download the resolution, and bring it again tonight.
Well, I like what he says there. The volume
Yeah.
of Never Again resolutions at caucus 2 years ago is the reason it was introduced today. So I helped Action for Liberty with some of the caucus training and trained thousands of people again this year to go to caucus. It's awesome. Okay. And we had a big event last Tuesday. It was awesome. Actually, neither one of you guys was there, were you? You guys missed it. You guys would have loved it.
Not at the Mermaid, right?
Oh, it was a blast. A lot of fun. So I had this one guy show up to one of our trainings here, and he was from I was gonna say New Brighton, not New Brighton, North Branch. I knew it was NB. He was from North Branch, and he goes, "I went to caucus. I did everything you guys said in 2022." And there were so many people that came to it. When it came time for resolutions, he's like, 12 people had the Never Again resolution. It's like,
That's so cool.
that makes my day to hear that. I convened my own precinct, okay? And I got roped into it again because William Beck's my BPOU chair. And he's like, Jake, would you do it if I can't find anyone else? And I just know William. I know this. I know what William was thinking. He's like, oh, yeah, now I got Jake. I don't have to even look.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Once he gets that, yes, he's not looking for
He's
anybody
not looking
else.
for anyone else.
No, of course
Why
not.
did I fall for it? I know William. Come on.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing, right? Can't trick me. I would do the same thing. So anyhow, in my own precinct, when I asked people for resolutions, I had 3 people handing the Never Again resolution to me and the Stop Vaccine resolution. I wrote the resolution, and I didn't even have to do it myself. I mean, that's the power of us getting involved. It was to a point where about a third of Republican delegates were people that were trained or encouraged to go to the caucus by Action for Liberty. At least a third. I think it was probably more than that, right?
Dang. Brad says he was resolutions chair in 2022 and had 75 Never Again resolutions.
75 Never
That's
Again
crazy.
resolutions, and Brad's in a Senate district. Let's just say with I don't know how many people would have gone in the Senate district. Well, we could do the quick math here. There's how many BPOUs are there in the state? 170. Let's just say there wouldn't even be 1,000. I'll put it this way: there would be 300, 400 people that probably went to caucuses in that whole BPOU. So I think it's probably close to a third of the people there handed in Never Again resolutions. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's how you get that. He's absolutely right. That's exactly why they all go out there that bill. All right, Nikki Haley was in town. 225. Oh, my math was off. So what's 75 divided by 225? Isn't it funny? Brad's like on the ball today. With
Yeah.
all the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That's like the first time I think I've ever seen that happen.
Oh, poor guy. And he's done the Rumble rant today.
Yeah.
What is 75 divided by 225? Who's got a calculator?
0.33. 0.3333.
Is it really a third? Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Yeah.
Did he just make that up to make my math all work out?
Yeah.
No,
Well, not a joke. It was a third of the people of our people went or made up. I know the ranks of the GOP. How many went into the Democrat Party? We had this girl trained up here. She's like, I'm going to the Democrat Party. I'm in St. Paul, and I'm gonna. I don't think she ended up doing, but she was convinced she was going to run against her legislator. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if she was able to get into the Democrat caucus because they had a vaccine mandate. Mm-hmm. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. They literally had a vaccine passport system set up for their caucus. Okay, let's move on. Nikki Haley, Bird Brain, was in town yesterday. Does she have any shot? Let's go over the numbers in the Michigan primary. Does she have any shot anywhere in here, Jesse?
No, of course not. And, I tried to find some information about the Nikki Haley stuff after the fact. I thought about going and trolling the event, but, I thought, she's so irrelevant that why even give any kind of attention? She's already only going to get maybe 20% in Minnesota. Same thing with Michigan. Same thing with every other Super Tuesday state. She's got absolutely no chance. So it's almost like, she's so irrelevant that she doesn't matter anymore.
Rashida says vote on. Okay, so you hold on. We're going to go into. I'm sorry, I put you on the spot there. We were talking about Super Tuesday numbers here with her. Let's go to this Michigan primary night. The Democrats have something going on here. This is very interesting.
Yeah. Yep. So what's going on in Michigan, and I think Minnesota has it too, where you can vote uncommitted in the Democratic and Republican primaries. But Rashida Tlaib, she's a radical leftist on one of the members of the squad. She's from Michigan. She's a Muslim, and she is out there telling people that because of the Israel-Palestine war, that she wants Democrats to go and vote uncommitted in the Democratic primary. This means that, I think it's going to be a substantial amount. Even Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, was saying it's going to be a substantial amount of people who are voting this way. I think a lot of the Democrats are fed up on what's going on. And, Joe Biden's being pulled from two different directions, from the radical people on the Palestine side to the radical people on the Israel side. So this Michigan primary that's going on tonight is going to show just how much support Biden is losing from the Democratic base.
So what's this video here? You got.
Yeah, this is just a little bit more information about it.
All right, should we watch this?
Yeah, sure. Line 11 there, Dawson.
I don't know why.
Looks like it's Rashida. Thanks for posting that, Brad, by the way. T-Wall for life. Interesting how the local news overcovered her visit. Yeah.
Is that this one?
Yep.
Buzz. That was Michigan Congresswoman and squad member Rashida Tlaib telling her fellow state Democrats to reject President Biden in the primary. Instead, she's urging residents to vote, quote, uncommitted, show they're unhappy with the Biden administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war. Last year, Tlaib accused Biden of supporting a Palestinian genocide and warned we will remember in 2024. So look at this. Former White House ethics lawyer Richard Painter writing on X, quote, "This is a great way to hand Michigan to Trump in November."
I find it funny that Rashida Tlaib thinks that
Wait,
she hasn't
pause
gotten
it,
enough
pause it,
attention
pause right there.
over.
That was Richard Painter?
Yeah, that's what they said too.
Wait, is that the
couldn't-
Richard Painter?
I don't know. I mean, it
dumpster
it
fire
might
guy?
have been. It might have been. It might have been.
Can you scroll? Is there a way to zoom in there? You remember who this guy is? He was a candidate in Minnesota.
Yeah,
was
we
talking
just
about,
watched his ad. Yeah.
the dumpster fire.
Zooming in on the guy on the right.
No, can you the tweet?
No, the tweet. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll see if I can find it as well.
This is
Yeah, I'm
too
gonna-
funny. If that is why would they quote Richard Painter?
Yeah, of all people.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Give me just a second.
Is there another Richard Painter out there? Is the big question I have. Are we putting you on the spot here, Dustin? Is it too
No,
hard?
I'll be able to do it. I just have to get to the tweet.
That's him. That's definitely
That
him.
is him?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right
let's
now.
go back here. Why did they bring up Richard Painter of Minnesota?
Because they're claiming that he's saying that this is going to help Trump win Michigan.
Hit the audio again. Yeah, but why is Fox News quoting Richard?
I don't know.
Israel-Hamas
Yeah, it is weird.
war. Last year, Tlaib accused Biden of supporting a Palestinian genocide and warned, "We will remember in 2024." So look at this. Former White House ethics lawyer Richard Painter writing on X, quote,
Is it Painter?
Yeah, he was a ethics lawyer under George W. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That is so. How is he even on their radar?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, we have to do this. Go to YouTube real quick, Dawson. Pull up Richard Painter dumpster fire. I know some of you guys saw this when we brought it up. I don't know when this was, a month ago or whatever.
Weeks. Like
Was it
maybe
weeks?
2 weeks.
Well,
yeah.
it's worth watching again. It's pretty damn funny, isn't it?
You're giving this video half of the views it probably has.
It's worth it. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Some people see a dumpster fire and do nothing but watch the spectacle. Some are too scared to face the danger, or they think it will benefit them if they just let it keep on burning. Others shrug and say, "Oh, all this talk of a dumpster fire, it's just fake news." There is an inferno raging in Washington. But here in the land of 10,000 lakes, we know how to put out a fire.
I am Richard Painter, and I approve of this message.
Yeah, he looks like a psycho killer,
I know, it does look like it's like
Yeah.
and the Michael Myers theme song, too. It's fascinating. That is who they go for an official tweet quote
Yeah.
on that story.
Yep. No,
What
I
a
thought
random world this is.
Yeah, it is crazy, but we'll see what goes on for uncommitted today. Some people are saying 10%, 20%. I'd hope for a lot more because I don't understand how the Democratic base is just accepting that Joe Biden is going to be their nominee. Does anybody really think Joe Biden is going to be alive in 2029 when the end of his second term would supposedly be over? I mean, give me a break. Joe Biden is going to die in office if they reelect him. It's it's elder abuse at this point.
I just realized I think the next thing that we're going to do for this show, it'll be a mainstay, is we will go to Richard Painter on every topic.
Yeah.
And make sure we know where he stands on the issue. All right, so let's talk about Super Tuesday. Let's go through the numbers in Super Tuesday. What do you got for us, Jesse?
Oh, I don't have any.
Did you not do it?
I thought you were putting a link in there for the Super Tuesday numbers. I mean,
That's
I did.
poor show planning.
I was looking at.
You don't know by heart?
No, of course not. But I mean, it's like 70-30 in most cases, and then same thing with Michigan, same thing with the rest of it. So 80-20, 70-30. That's the majority of the results for all of Super Tuesday, and we might even see some where Nikki can't even get to that 20%. I've seen a couple of polls where Michigan, she's only at 15%. So she's got absolutely no chance. She's totally irrelevant, and I hope that Super Tuesday is the end of her campaign.
All right, I'm going to dump this online. Let's see here. Dawson, we're going to go to line. Shoot, what's going on? I'm just going to dump on the intro. So line 6, okay? I want to show people the map and the delegate count. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show people the polling on 538. I think people tune into our show because they get some news that they probably have to go find themselves. We'll make it easier. My bad on that
what
one.
is it?
That's my bad, Dawson or Jesse.
What is it? 36% though of the delegates for the GOP National Convention are up for grabs. within Super Tuesday. So, almost half of, the entire elections are going to be officially over for the Republican primary as soon as Super Tuesday is over.
Yeah, and I mean, one would argue she shouldn't be in this race after losing her home state.
Mm-hmm. By 20
the way,
points.
The funny part about the mainstream media, and I like how T-Wall mentions how the local news overcovered her visit, because they did. I saw a packed room, right? Mm-hmm. But even the way they spun the storyline with South Carolina, as if Trump didn't win well or didn't do well because 40% were basically against Trump. That's the way they spun it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, big problem in the Republican ranks. 40% don't want Trump. It's like he beat the woman who was she a 2-term governor of the state?
And
by
not
20
only
points.
That's
huge.
He got the most votes ever in a Republican primary for South Carolina, for New Hampshire, and for Iowa. Nobody has ever topped the results that he's done. He doubled the results of the last record in South Carolina for a GOP primary. So what do we know what was going on in South Carolina? Of course, the leftist independents and the Democrats were voting in the Republican primary for Nikki Haley. If you look at the actual breakdown of who these voters were that were voting for Trump, it was something like 87% of Republican voters who are registered Republican in South Carolina were voting for Trump. It's only these leftist independents. It's only the Democrats. Those are the only people that are voting for Nikki Haley. Besides that, the Republican Party has 100% decided that Trump is going to be the nominee.
All right, Dawson, go to line 6 here, or whatever line that was I said. Yeah, line 6. Let's pull up Politico. This is showing you the number of delegates that are allocated per state. And you can kind of see a nice little map. 874 GOP delegates will be up for grabs in 16 states and territories. Scroll down just a little bit. You can actually click and hover over California, which is the top one. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. Oh, they changed that graphic from last night. All right, there you go. What is that? 169 delegates in California. Next state's Texas.
Yeah, Minnesota's listed on there.
161. Minnesota just 39 delegates in total. So anyhow, that is what's up for stake on Super Tuesday. So let's go and let's look at where the race is, starting with California, because that's the most states. That's that's column G on line 6, Dawson. This is according to 538. So here's Trump with a massive, what is that, plus 654? Can't read the screen. A huge, you can see Haley's in green.
Dawson, what does that say, average as of today down there?
Average as of today for Haley?
For both.
73.1 for Trump and then 18.9 for Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now go back up. Now go up to the top. You see where it's got the state? You can change the state and go to Texas.
Falls 82.1 for Trump, 12.2 for Haley.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go to North Carolina. That's the third most. And then we'll go to Minnesota just to show the polling.
73.8 Trump, 20.2 for
close.
Haley.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see if they got Minnesota in here, just so you can see that, like on Super Tuesday, there's no place she's doing well. I think this was the it was a KSTP poll. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we would have wrote about that and talked about that. It was about a month ago.
Yeah.
Was that Trump 76%, Haley 14, something like that? And I can't imagine she's made much movement since then. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Super Tuesday, the one shot she's got. Now, here's the question I have for you, Jesse. Does she stay in after Super Tuesday? Is there any chance she stays in after Super Tuesday?
There's still a chance. I mean, she's... I can't explain it, but, she must think she's taking some kind of principled stand. And, I will give Nikki Haley...
think she's doing that?
I mean, she might see it in her own mind that way. You
think so?
Absolutely.
Do you think it's
I think
a part of the like I've just been listening to Candace a lot, and Candace is, I don't know, I think she has interesting points on things, and she keeps thinking like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever at all that she's still in the race. So is there something that she knows that the left has planned up their sleeve, and she's just like doing their bidding? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Weird.
She could still just be waiting for.
But like, is this their plan to like, even if Trump wins, not let him in?
Mm-hmm.
And have Nikki go in there and do their bidding. I don't know.
No, I think what's happening is she's got a motivation. There is
but just money, right?
Yeah, the establishment forces. She wants that infrastructure. She wants that money. Now, the Koch network, Americans for Prosperity,
yeah, I heard that.
just said that they're pulling money. They're just going to mention her by name. But she's trying to get in the good graces of these people, being their one dog in the race against Trump. It's not working. So that's the rationale she has for staying in the race. What do they have in the race? They have to be purely looking for a black swan event.
Yeah.
And to some degree, maybe they can force that black swan event.
That's what I wonder if they're.
Yeah, and I had just seen some article where Nikki Haley has spent, I think, almost $75 million on her presidential campaign just in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. So, I mean, which is totally terrible to think about because, like, think about what $75 million could be used for, so much good it could be used for. What is it being used for? It's being used for Nikki Haley. And I think in her own mind, she's seeing some kind of principle for it. And I got to give her a little bit of credit just because she is tough. You know, she's getting a lot of criticism. She's being swung at in every direction, and she's still staying in the race. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. It's obviously a waste of our time. It's a waste of her time. And it's a waste of a lot of money. But she is tough. And she's obviously not backing down when it's so obvious that she has no chance. But I could see her either stepping out after this Super Tuesday, but I could also see her hanging in there because she has said, I am going to stay in this race until the very last vote has been cast. Now, obviously, all of these presidential candidates act tough until the very last moment. Tim Scott did it. Chris Christie did it. Ron DeSantis did it. They all act tough until the very last moment when they hear, oh, my donors are pulling out. I guess I need to get out of this race. So Nikki Haley, she's going to hang in there as long as she's got some money coming in. And, I could see her taking it all the way through to the convention or up into the point where President Trump has secured all of the Republican delegates necessary to win at the RNC convention.
Who's he picking as VP right now? You were quoting CPAC.
Yeah, CPAC had a poll, but what was interesting about that CPAC poll, I don't think it's going to be anybody on that list. Trump has decided that he's, he gives us little hints here and there. I think he was using Tim Scott. I think he was squeezing every little vote he could get out of him in South Carolina, but I don't think Tim Scott is going to be his VP candidate. I think there's plenty of options on the table. I hope that Trump chooses someone that MAGA would be happy with, that's generally respected in our country. I don't know exactly who it's going to be, though.
All right, Trump wins South Carolina. He's got a victory speech. We got some video for you, but before we do that, a couple house cleaning things. Housekeeping things.
Yeah.
I get made fun of because I get all those things wrong. Housekeeping things. First of all, we are on locals. Do you have the page up, Dawson?
It should be ready, although it's saying that I am a robot, so I probably have to do that again.
I am a robot. Yeah. We're on locals now for social media. I think a lot of you guys are just like us. You don't know where to be on. Are you even on social media, Bridget?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
Okay. And you're on Truth.
Pretty much, yeah. And even
Truth
Social, I
Truth.
barely check. I go on there like once every couple days just to see what Trump's saying, what Tucker's saying.
Yeah.
Besides that, there's nothing else on
All
Truth.
right, well, let's be honest. Twitter is winning right now, or X, okay? Locals is something that we've been looking for. It's got a partnership with Rumble, okay? So we are on locals. Do you have the locals?
Yeah.
So it's a community, or what do they call it? I think you join the Truth Hurts community. You can check this out.
So, yeah, basically what happens is if you see the join button on our Rumble stream, you click on that, you'll be brought to a page that looks like this. And then the locals makes it a little hard. You have to click up here, and then there will be a button that says make an account. But then once you do, you would go here, you press sign in, and then it'll sign you in. Hopefully it doesn't show me anything that
You can discover new community, it says up there.
Yep. So you do find communities, and you do the Truth Hurts. The Truth Hurts. It
There
is
you
this one.
And
Click
then
on
you join that.
Join
There you
community.
go. That's how you do it.
Yep.
All right. We're already starting with 5 members, it looks like. Okay. So, and then I just started posting yesterday. So you can see our articles that are going up. The videos were going up. This is where we have subscribers too. So eventually we'll have subscriber-only material. That will be fun. Is that what you do? You click
Yep.
support?
So then once you want to see those subscriber things, once they come out, you
Click
press
on that.
support up here, and then it'll bring you up to a page where you can do whatever you got to do on that.
Yeah,
end.
I think it's monthly, isn't it? $10 monthly.
You can make it annual or monthly.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to pay to follow?
Not to follow.
You can follow for free, but if you want to be in the exclusive club, and I'm going to tell you what, I don't even know all the fun stuff we're going to have yet
we have
on
a
the
Rumble Rant.
exclusive club. Okay, just give me a second on the Rumble
Okay.
Rant. But thank you, T-Wall. This is going to be a lot of fun. Sometimes when we're talking about topics, and we're going to have some insider information, because, the thing about this show is we are political insiders. We know the stuff. Luckily, we've had our head on straight the whole time and still steering towards liberty. A lot of people get corrupted when they get in, right? Jesse's not getting corrupted, I'll tell you that much. That guy is staying pure. I love it. So we're going to give you some inside stuff only on that exclusive stuff. Plus, there'll be other things. We'll actually have live events. All of our subscribers can come to our studio and watch a live broadcast. There's another thing. So become a subscriber. We have some big things in mind. Most importantly, the paid subscribers help fund this operation, right? Because we want to do big things. We want to do investigative reporting, many documentaries, lots of cool things. So it just doesn't work unless we have the resources to do it. So anyhow, we'll probably be talking about this a lot in the future, but that's what the paid subscriber thing is. All right, Rumble Rant.
Hope Trump. Oh yeah, first of all, it's T-Wall for life, and he says hope Trump learned a lesson selecting Pence.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah, and I think he's got other good options this time, whether it be J.D. Vance, whether it be Kristi Noem, whether it be Vivek, or, there's some other people out there. I don't want it to be Crift or Tulsi Gabbard because, we were watching her CPAC speech earlier. She's obviously just kissing up to Trump. She's saying whatever she thinks she needs to try to move forward, Her, Tim Scott, they're like Kamala to me. It's just a mumbling, bumbling jumble of words, and it doesn't mean anything, and they'll say and do anything just to advance their own career. So between the Nikki Haleys, the Tim Scotts, I'm hoping that Trump can see through all that stuff, and and also not pick some kind of rhino like Mike Pence who's going to backstab him at the last minute.
Where's Pence now? Is he dead?
No, he's just.
What
faded.
is he doing nowadays?
I think
he
he just made some PAC or something, some political action committee. I can't remember, but it's just irrelevant. Same thing as Nikki, irrelevant.
I never could stand Pence from day one, but I understood that it was actually a smart move by Trump. Find the most neutered, run-of-mill, even-handed, steady guy that you could possibly find to balance out your crazy. Because let's be honest, that's what people like about Trump. That's what I like about Trump. You get the crazy with him. The crazy's fun. He's freaking entertaining. From day one, I was like, this guy is fun to watch debate. The biggest travesty in this election cycle is he didn't debate. And I get it from a political standpoint. Part of the problem with my job is I understand the politics, but I want to observe the entertainment value too. And man, we missed out that Trump wasn't in those debates. Because let's be honest, if Biden debates, Biden won't debate. Biden won't even be the candidate coming out of the convention, as I've predicted many times. It'll be Michelle Obama, maybe Gavin Newsom, but most likely Michelle Obama. But if Biden was, there's no way he would debate, and those wouldn't be fun debates anyhow. They just wouldn't. It's hard to watch Biden these days.
And did you hear Gavin Newsom? He actually said, well, Nikki's making a great case for us. Nikki is out there saying, that Trump shouldn't be president, that he's an agent of chaos. So Gavin Newsom is out there saying that Nikki Haley is doing a great job for the Democratic Party, and they can piggyback off of her message. So
yeah, but didn't Kamala say Biden was like a racist or something? I mean, they say so much during primary season.
No, I'm saying, but Gavin Newsom is complimenting what Nikki Haley is doing.
I know, I'm just saying
and I'm saying that Nikki Haley, all of these videos where she's trashing Trump, where she says Trump cannot win, I mean, all of that is going to be used by the Democrats. She is doing the bidding of the Democrats at this point, and that's why we need to push her away as completely irrelevant.
Listen, I understand people's concerns about Trump's path to victory in the general election. But if you think he can't win, have you learned nothing about politics in the last 8-9
Nikki
years?
Haley can't win. That's who can't win. MAGA would abandon her 100%.
We predicted on the Living Free podcast, some of you guys maybe followed us since then. That was Jack and me. In 2016, before election, we predicted Trump's victory. And you know who we were quoting on that? We're quoting Michael Moore. Because Michael Moore saw it coming. There's some Democrats that saw it coming, and we saw it coming too.
Yeah, Michael Moore's starting to predict Trump 2024.
I brought this point up last night to my neighbor. Biden didn't win a fair and balanced election in 2020. Say what you will about cheating after the fact, machines and stuff like that. It was a rigged election for two reasons. It was rigged because you had now we know the government, the FBI, literally going and saying that there's misinformation, Russian disinformation on the Hunter Biden laptop story, which polling has showed that would have changed people's votes. And number two, how we know it was rigged is they changed laws in many states on absentee ballots. You had a record number of people voting. The barrier to entry to get to vote was so much limited. It just tilted the hand so heavily in favor of the Democrat Party.
Right, and remember how badly Biden lied. Biden was saying he was going to be like an anti-lockdown candidate. He was calling Trump the lockdown candidate. He was out there saying that he was going to end the virus and that he was going to get America back to work. He was the one who kept all of it going and going and going, So Joe Biden, if people had known how he was actually going to be and if people had known how demented his brain is, he would never have gotten as many votes as he allegedly did.
Right. Well, I mean, and he probably did get a lot of votes, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of blue no matter who idiots out there.
Yeah, exactly. But they're harvesting these absentee ballots. And a lot of that was laws that were changed by governors using emergency powers. It was rigged. It was a rigged system.
Yeah.
That's why I don't fully believe that COVID happened because they want to get rid of Trump. But, boy, that's a believable conspiracy of all of them. I mean, that's very believable.
I mean, it was beneficial to make it happen. So
Trump, people forget Trump was on his way to an easy re-election in 2020.
Yeah,
it looked great for him, and then COVID happened. So, and then even then, with all the change in laws, and we all saw that hockey stick, right? It changed overnight. Like we go to bed seeing Trump win, and then all you have this influx of absentee ballots, right, in favor all these changed laws, so to speak, in favor of the Democrats. All right, I want to get into this Trump victory speech in South Carolina. I didn't see this video, and you were telling me about they booed Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, I know. We got that bet going of whether Trump will end up endorsing Lindsey Graham in 2026. Maybe he will after watching this thing.
I say he does.
I don't think he will. I think that he's using him for his political capital in this moment.
I said he will endorse Lindsey Graham?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he will.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I can't believe it took the other part of that.
Oh, yeah. No, you said he would. And, so Trump brings Lindsey Graham up on stage, and, obviously the MAGA world had something to say about it. So go ahead and play that clip there, Dawson. 10:25 is where it happened.
Thank you very much, Tim. Really great job. Amazing. Another man, not a lot of people know him. He doesn't do too much television. He happens to be a little bit further left than some of the people on the stage. But I always say, when I'm in trouble on the left, I call up Lindsey Graham, and he straightens it out so fast. And I'll tell you, no, remember. I love him. He's a good man. Come up here, Lindsey. Come up here, Lindsey. Come here.
What? Stop. I can't
fist
even
bump?
take it. I can't even take it. Freeze frame that.
I know.
That was, oh my God.
I watched that too. Trump pushes it away.
Oh my God. Oh, stop. I can't believe politics is free. This is just, that is just
gold.
Classic there.
And Trump is humiliating him by bringing him up.
So humiliating
Well,
him.
here, hold on. Do you want to hear what Lindsey Graham actually had to say?
Should I? I want that image.
It's real quick.
I want that image. That's my new screensaver right there.
Yep.
Look how funny that is. I like the people that are like, Trump is an idiot. I'm like, nah, I think
he knows
he's a hidden genius.
He definitely knows what a fist bump was.
Hold on, back up just a little bit. I'm sorry, we're this immature. Whoops. Razzle Dazzle wants to know, why do we think he is introducing him there? Strange. No, it's not strange, because my prediction is gonna be right. He's gonna endorse Lindsey Graham.
I got a theory on this. I think that he's basically bringing Lindsey Graham up there so that Lindsey Graham knows your only way to power is through MAGA. You're going to have to win these people back over.
Yes, 100%. And then Trump will endorse him.
We'll see about that.
Let's watch this. I think Lindsey Graham's going in. Yep, Lindsey Graham offers it. So Trump sees it and wants to make it awkward for Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, he rejects it.
Trump is like a
look, he even pushes
genius.
it away. He pushes it away,
he does.
too.
Yeah, and he pushes away. Yeah, and usually he pulls people in, too, right?
Yeah.
Like, he is a secret genius.
I think I'm gonna take the opposite end of this one.
You take the opposite.
Yeah.
But look at that limp wrist too. Who fist bumps like that?
Yeah, it's a weak fist bump.
That's
for sure.
the worst fist bump I've ever seen in the history of fist bumps.
And
look
he
at
has
this.
to
Watch
bring the
this.
mic
Look
down.
at that. Who does that? Do you know if a guy gave a good fist bump, he'd probably break his wrist doing that.
Yeah.
That's why
Right.
you don't punch like this. That is probably how Lindsey Graham punches.
Maybe.
Oh.
Brad says he has an iPhone, Jake. Just saying.
Shut up, Brad. God. Brad, can we ban him?
Yeah.
Razzle also says, why endorse him, Jake? Why endorse Graham?
Because Trump is a politician in the end of the day. He just happens to be a really good one. But there'll be a reason he'll
Well,
want.
you're saying loyalist. Like
Yep.
that he'll say,
Well,
Lindsey Graham
that's
was
actually
loyal.
to me.
But the
to me,
problem
that's
is,
a good characteristic of Trump in the sense he's loyal to people personally, and in business he's done this, but he's disloyal to his base, who give him a lot of leeway.
Mm-hmm.
They do, but in this case, his base clearly doesn't like Lindsey Graham.
Right, and,
but
you
he's
know,
going to be
but the
loyal
thing is,
because
how
Lindsey
loyal?
Graham will move certain things for him when the Senate is in Republican hands. By the way, the Republicans will win back the U.S. Senate. You guys realize that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The math is like way in their favor. You're actually, West Virginia is like a no-brainer. It's going to go Republican. So the Republicans will have the Senate. Lindsey Graham's going to move things for Trump in the Senate. That's why he's going to get endorsed by Trump.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, but that's
yeah.
still,
Razzle Dazzle says they'll bring down Trump's popularity. Down, Jake. Trust me, Trump can afford to lose his popularity a little bit. They'll forget about it. They just will.
That's the thing. Who's going to vote for Nikki Haley because he brought Lindsey Graham on stage? Nobody. And
Right.
one thing that's interesting that Trump says there, he says that this guy's a little bit further to the left. When I'm in trouble with the left, I call Lindsey Graham, which makes me think that Lindsey Graham must be a real mover and shaker in the Senate to actually be able to swing some Democrat votes here and there on different issues. That's what I would figure. Especially why wouldn't Lindsey Graham have that kind of influence over Democratic senators? I think he probably does. He's been around there for a long time. He gets along with a lot of the Democrats. He votes with the Democrats on a lot of things. So I'd imagine he does have a decent relationship that Trump is trying to take advantage of.
Yeah, well, listen, Lindsey Graham's a freaking traitor. That guy's a traitor. That guy's a warmongering buffoon.
Right, and he certified the 2020 election, which makes me wonder, why is Trump using him? But I think what Trump also wants to do is show, look, I've got the establishment behind me too.
Yeah.
Nikki's got nobody. She can't even get Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
See,
the way
Graham
I see
knows. He knows, and he latches on to Trump.
He knows he has to.
Lindsey Graham would sell out on Trump in a hot minute if he could, but he can't.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in South Carolina. If Lindsey Graham was in Minnesota, well, that's not even a good example. Where's Trump not good in Republican ranks? I'm trying to think of an example. Utah
a little bit, just because it's super Mormon. They don't like the moral stuff, but even with that, Mike Lee still became the Republican nominee and was still pushing to the U.S. Senate. So, but Utah is one of the states that there is a decent amount of disapproval among the Republican Party for Trump.
There you go. Well, I guess even Minnesota's a good case in point because Lindsey Graham does care about the general electorate too. So
yeah.
Okay. Am I missing any big comments here? I'm sorry. I'm looking
I
over
don't
here.
think so.
Okay. Let's. So what's Matt Gaetz' cheer then? Let's go to this. Headline.
Well, hold on. Do we not want to hear what Lindsey Graham had to say? It's only like 2 sentences long.
I trust you, Jesse. Go ahead. That's the image right there. I love it. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, are you ready? America, the nightmare you're facing is just about over. Help is on the way. This is the most qualified man to be president of the United States. And let it be said that South Carolina created the biggest political comeback in American history.
Okay, that's a smart politician. He knows the crowd's not 100% with him.
Yeah.
This is the second time I've seen him do this at a Trump event. Remember, he was booed again at a Trump event.
This has happened before.
So he knows he doesn't have the crowd on his side, so he's going to say the most endearing things to Trump, which is really good. He could do it to Tulsi Gabbard. They've hated him since he came down the golden elevator, right?
Escalator, yeah.
So this is a clever politician. I think Trump doesn't have any respect for Lindsey Graham. Let's be honest.
Probably not.
He looks at this. He's like, this freaking politician. Whatever.
Yeah.
This guy is just latching on because Trump is so popular. That's what's going on, right?
Well, and if you compare what Trump's victory speech was to what Nikki Haley had for her South Carolina speech, she didn't have anybody there. She didn't have anybody lined up behind her. While Trump had all of these people lined up endorsing him. He had Tim Scott there. He had a bunch of U.S. representatives. He had both U.S. senators, Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott. He also had the governor, the lieutenant governor. So he just had person after person where it just showed that he had South Carolina behind him. There was no doubt about it just by looking at that stage compared to her speech, because her speech was the most boring, artificial, scripted thing I've ever heard in my life. She just looks at one camera. I love South Carolina, and I always will. It was the biggest phony thing I've ever seen in my life. It was all scripted. It was all, nothing coming from the heart. She obviously had some prepared statements based on no matter what the results were going to be from that. So, I'd rather take Trump, who's going to bring Lindsey Graham up on stage and, allow the crowd to kind of boo him out a little bit, than Nikki Haley just giving us a fake scripted speech.
One thing that Lindsey actually says that's very accurate, love or hate Donald Trump, other than you're a huge lefty and you can't see through this, but he actually is very qualified for the job.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that runs $1 billion plus company, so his size and magnitude of that is the closest thing you could relate to running the executive branch of the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you come from like a governor of a big state.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be a big size organization. Plus, he's done the job before, and the world didn't crumble like all the leftists predicted. But we see the current tenant of the office is literally letting the world crumble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of all that kind of stuff, he's a very smart communicator and somewhat healthy. Actually, that's the other funny narrative the media is going with right now. He's unfit for the job. They're talking about his mental cognition is declining.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you guys will try anything. They literally will try anything against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
See what sticks.
But Razzle Dazzle agrees with me in the comments saying that Trump won't endorse that clown. I think the same way.
Razzle,
we'll
should we
see.
get a beer bet on that one? I'm going to put a beer. Would you beer bet me on that one too? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bridget? You think he's going to do it?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about Lindsey Graham.
All right. I want to see this Matt Gaetz one. Let's go.
Yeah, so go ahead and go to 19 minutes into that same video there, Dawson, because not only did the crowd hate Lindsey Graham, but they loved Matt Gaetz.
You said, what was the timestamp?
19
minutes.
Yeah, 19 minutes.
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, it was exciting to see.
If you're just listening to audio, you got to go watch this thing. That fist bump is to die for.
Yeah.
Job. A very non-controversial person, but a very good person. People don't understand. This is a very good person, and he's a very capable man, Matt Gaetz. Thank you, Matt. That's not bad, Matt. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. I'm very impressed, right? Very good. Matt, what's going on? How many people did you put up here, huh? That's fantastic. And by the way, before I forget, we have a group of people.
Yeah, that's good right there.
That's funny. And what do you think McCarthy thinks when he sees that?
Oh, he must hate it. He must hate it. Matt Gaetz had said before on some interview or something, he said McCarthy knows that he could never be brought out into a Trump rally because the crowd would boo him.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's so exciting to see that the MAGA base was like, Matt Gaetz got the biggest applause, besides Trump. Of anybody at that event right there. It shows that, the American people have woken up to his tactics, his style, the way that he's handling himself in Congress. Because, at the beginning when it was all going on, he's going to take out Kevin McCarthy. There were a lot of Republicans who were showing skepticism. We're saying, oh, that's not going to work. That's just going to destroy this whole thing. We're going to lose the majority, this and that and this and that. And Matt Gaetz has proven time and time again he's the only guy fighting for freedom consistently at the Capitol in D.C. He's done a great job. Every single battle that he's led, I agree with. And it's just so impressive to see that, he's got the people on his side too. It's really exciting to see, because I think if our party is defined by the Matt Gaetz era, oh man, we're heading in the right direction.
Isn't it fun going through the news with MAGA Jesse? Isn't that fun? This truly is an honor. Don't ever go anywhere and don't ever stop being you, okay? Oh, Brazzle Dazzle.
Yeah, he says beer bet. Absolutely.
Okay. Love it.
You're going to get 2 Coors Lights that day. That's pretty exciting.
Coors Light, come on. How dare you? We got to have an American beer, like Bud Light, right? We should sponsor the show. Bud Light. Listen, they learned their lesson.
Yep.
It is so funny to watch that Kid Rock interview with Joe Rogan.
Was it Bud Light that was controversial?
Oh, you were trying. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
Coors
that was-
Light's just as bad. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Let's weigh in this for a second, and then we want to go to some other stories, your local stuff. This whole controversy over Bud Light is really hilarious to me, and a lot of people are calling people fake conservatives now and sellouts and stuff like that.
I'm calling for a ceasefire. It's
ceasefire.
time for a
I love
ceasefire
it.
with Bud Light.
Don't set yourself on fire for that one, though.
I want to push all Coors Lights into Egypt. That's my plan.
Bud Light definitely learned a lesson, okay? No doubt about it. But here's the deal. Coors and Miller were just as bad, right? We got pissed because they went on with this Dylan Mulvaney, but listen, Coors and Miller Lite are doing all the same pride crap. They just didn't put a can with Dylan Mulvaney on it. And I'm pretty sure Bud Light will continue sponsoring pride stuff. These beer
I don't know.
companies-
I don't think they will. You know,
we'll
after
see.
that whole thing, you know, that's the thing. The next time they do some kind of gay pride can, do you think that's going to go over well? No, it's gonna restart everything all over
we'll
again.
See.
So I
see.
think they're done with that. And you know, I guess they got a lot of military guys. that work
We'll see
there.
in June.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see in June because that's when every company goes complete woke. Actually, it's like mid-May nowadays, right? They go mid-May till like into July. Pride gets the whole summer. If you're black from a family of slaves, you only get the smallest month of the year. But gay pride gets mid-May through basically into July. That's how it works. There you go.
$10 from Love Minnesota. Jake and Mort plus team will save Minnesota if more citizens would wake up and realize who's really trying to protect their kids' futures.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Now, I said I'd give you $20 to do that, so you just profited $10 by doing that Rumble Rant. Jeez. I'm kidding. That's very nice of you to say, Love Minnesota. I can't remember. Do I know who Love Minnesota is?
I don't know, do you?
Love Minnesota, do you dare reveal your first name identity? I don't know. I love it. Well, I love you, Love Minnesota. Thanks. That was very kind of you. Ugh. That's so humbling. It just is. I don't know who that person is. I think I should. You know, I know Razzle Dazzles. I know Tucker. Brad obviously is obvious. I love it when I go to these events. This just happened at the Tuesday event. Someone came up. They go, I'm Napkinator or Napkinate. I was like, oh, beautiful, right? I love it. It's my favorite thing. Okay. Should we do this establishment candidate caves and signs pledge? You wrote the story.
Oh yeah,
It's on
sure.
Action for
Yeah, we
Liberty.
could get into
Yeah,
that.
let's do
So
it.
that is on.
This affects me because this is person running in my house seat.
Yeah, line 9 there, Dawson. Yeah, and this is Jake. This is your district because so something you know all too well is about Rhino Tony Jurgens and how he cost you guys the entire state Republican majority control of the state Senate. Tony Jurgens is the reason that we have trifecta control for the Democrats in the House, the Senate, and the governor. So, you know, what's going on, go ahead and scroll down there, Dawson, because the race where Tony Jurgens endorsed Democrat Judy Seeberger was decided by 161 votes. If 161 votes would have flipped, then Tom DePel would have been the senator instead of Judy Seeberger. And now we see what, you know, so basically the way that Republican politics works, there's an endorsement process where candidates vie for the Republican endorsement. They're supposed to abide by that endorsement and not pursue a primary. However, there's a lot of rhinos who get propped up by the establishment. And, you know, the establishment in the MNGOP, they're always going to tell you, follow through on the endorsement. The endorsement is what counts. Up until their preferred choice doesn't win. Up until an incumbent doesn't win, then all of a sudden they say, you know, maybe this does need to go into the primary because they think the conservative delegates can get it wrong. So, you know, this is something that we've all heard about plenty of times where Tom DePel, Mark Bishofsky, Natalie Barnes, Bill Liskey, Brett Bussman, they all had their data access revoked. So we know that these are the dirty tricks that the MNGOP and local party units are going to play. But now we fast forward to 41A, District 41A, which is the highlight of this article here, because in District 41A, the nominations committee for Senate District 41 met with all these different candidates, got them to sign on to the pledge that they will abide by the endorsement. Well, all of them signed on except for former County Commissioner Wayne Johnson. Now, Wayne Johnson, he's an interesting guy because not only did he endorse Tony Jurgens, he did in the primary after the endorsing convention. He has posted online on Facebook constantly in support of the COVID clot shots and booster shots. He has posted pictures with Democrats.
Can you show me those? I'm very curious on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whichever link you want to click within there.
Go to, scroll down there. Keep going, Dawson. It's that paragraph with a lot of links.
Yep.
COVID clot shots or booster shots, either one works.
Yep. So that's
Wayne
something
Johnson,
he shared, telling people to go get the COVID-19 vaccine. I found probably 5 or 6 different posts on his page promoting the COVID vaccine. So that shows exactly the kind of guy he is. And
go back. I want to see the one on the boosters too.
Yep.
Good news for those seeking booster shots. Washington County Public Health is offering first, second doses for unvaccinated individuals, as well as the Pfizer booster dose for people who meet the MDH and CDC criteria. We're not offering so this is
Dawson
in October of
that's
2021.
ridiculous.
Dawson, don't do that. Jeez.
I like how I can tilt Jesse just by doing that.
That would be the first like, right?
I think so, yeah.
So this is as we're in the trenches fighting against vaccine mandates, and he's posting that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And while that was
going
going on,
that, that's our studio. Don't put that under our studio.
What do you mean? That's
You
Cherry
can
Tree.
go on in your own.
Yeah.
account. That was Cherry Tree Studios.
Oops.
yeah, I don't think Cherry Tree Studios supports
Go back to the
vaccines or
booster
vax
shots.
mandates.
Are you telling me to censor my opinion on this?
Yes, it's not your opinion. You're representing Cherry Tree Studios.
Uh-oh.
Now, Dawson Graham, you said your name already today.
No,
you can on your own account go do it.
Thanks for the docs, I guess.
What? Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
I think
talking
he said
about?
it before the show.
I
What's
did.
that?
I don't think he said that on the show.
I never have. Never planned
Did you
to.
say it before the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Well, it's not some big secret, is it?
What? Yes, it is. I'm a streamer. That's shit that I keep on lock.
Is it really?
Yes.
I did not know that. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Am I really remembering before that? We were talking about German.
Yes,
The
we were.
German roots. That was on the.
No, that was before.
That was before the show. Oh my God! I am so sorry.
Whatever.
Well, anyhow, you're not putting that under Cherry Tree. My God.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to this article here, but because, yeah, like I said, the BPOU nominations committee had their meetings with all these candidates. They all signed except for Wayne Johnson. And then what SD41 GOP did was they put it on Twitter. They said, these are the candidates that have signed on. These are the candidates that haven't signed on. He starts getting some public feedback. People are pushing back. They're saying, why is this guy not abiding by the endorsement? What does he do? He sends it in later that evening, a signed pledge. But however, the pledge he sent in doesn't have a signed witness on it. So does that mean that he's not going to abide by the endorsement? He's going to claim that, this is a void contract because there was no witness signature. I mean, the establishment will pull whatever dirty tricks they can. And if that's his excuse for, not being a man of his word, I think that he's going to have to, he's going to have to face the delegates for what he did there. But this is a guy who was posing for pictures with Carla Bigham, Tyron Tim Walls, and, one of his biggest complaints that he posted about on his Facebook page is he's complaining that, I really wish the legislators would pass a crony bonding bill. He wants a bonding bill, while at a time where Action for Liberty was demanding that everybody have their surplus money returned to them. We were saying that your overtaxed surplus dollars belong back in the hands of the taxpayers. Well, what was Wayne Johnson saying? He was saying that I wish that they would waste your money with a crony bonding debt bill, which would only benefit the lobbyists and special interests and would do nothing to benefit the people of Minnesota.
We had visitors to a law enforcement building today as board representative on the Community Corrections Advisory Board, AMC's Public Safety Committee, and board chair. I was honored to welcome Governor Walz, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, and Public Safety Commissioner Harrington to Washington County. Yeah, this guy's a complete establishment hack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why you go to caucus.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, good story. Thanks for alerting me to that.
Yep.
That is good to know.
Mm-hmm.
For caucuses tonight, right?
Yep.
What should people be doing if they wanna do that stuff?
Just show up. Go to caucusfinder.com and you'll
watch
see
Mort's video on how to caucus.
Yeah, watch Mort's video. Action for Liberty. Is that what you were pimping out there?
Well, that video is really well edited. I don't know anything about who made it or anything. But
Oh, whatever you want to say, Dawson. Whatever
was
your last
actually
name
wondering
is.
why Dawson
By the way, I
was
just
like-
realized he's giving me shit. His last name's on his signature line. If you do stuff with the studio, it's not like he's that much of a hidden
Not a
guy.
secret person,
I
yeah.
know. He actually literally made me feel bad for a second there.
you should feel bad.
No, I shouldn't.
Okay.
You're the
Yeah,
one that
I'm
wants-
sure
You're the
your
one that wants
name
to
has been
bomb
said.
Palestine back into the Palestinian days.
I never said bomb
Jokes today.
Palestine.
What's that?
I never said bomb Palestine.
Well, how else are you going to get all the Palestinians to flee and go to Egypt?
Israel? That's like the whole point, right?
No,
That
how are you going to get them to do that?
tanks? I don't know. Whatever the
Wow.
military
That's
All right, so
crazy.
I'll just shoot them with a tank gun, I guess. So what do we
Have
we
you
make a
ju-
distinguishment between that and bombs?
The unfortunate problem with that opinion is that you cannot argue with morals, but it's the right thing to do. So
Wait, what is
that's
the right
crazy.
thing to do to make force everyone to go?
So
to,
like anybody who's
I know.
arguing for that,
If you
can't-
believe this, Dawson, go fight in the Israeli
Yeah.
military. You know, it's like
think
you're
crazy
saying,
to
like,
believe that.
you know, people should be forced to leave their homes. You know, that property that they've owned for their entire lives. You're saying that the Jews are owed it just for being Jews. I mean, give me a
careful.
Agree with
Careful.
Jesse.
oh, typical Jews think they own everything. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. That was a joke.
Alley Cat says
That was a good
protesters-
joke, right?
Alley Cat 62 says protesters interrupted Nikki's rally.
It's on
inside
YouTube. How
yesterday.
did
It's
you
on
not know
YouTube.
about this?
I looked it up. I looked Nikki Haley, Minnesota on YouTube, and I wasn't finding anything.
Alley
So
Cat, do you have the link? Post it here. We
I'll
want to
see
see
if,
this.
I'll see if I can find it quick.
Okay, interesting stuff. I wasn't. aware
yeah,
of
I
it.
didn't see that. And that says it's in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no. If
Well, it
it was
doesn't
Minnesota,
say
that's interesting.
Minnesota,
I mean,
but-
I know that there's been protesters messing with her with different stuff and whatnot. So yeah, no. I mean, if that happened in Minnesota, that is definitely good to know.
Yeah, I got it. It's the
You got
Napkin
it?
8 came in the comments also a while back. Jake and said it was great meeting you too. A for L to the moon.
Oh well, that was nice.
to the moon. That's a good reference.
And let's talk about
Oh,
the
stop.
border.
First of all, the moon is fake. Space is fake. But next of all, that's Kristen Robbins. Sorry, I had to. That's Kristen Robbins. So this is Minnesota. Kristen
Yep.
Robbins, another rhino, by the way. That was that's actually the woman that beat Brad Ganser in the state house race. Dirty
Really?
tricks. that they played.
Okay.
Dirty
Wow.
tricks they played. Brad would have been the far better choice in that race.
Mm-hmm.
They did this mailer against Brad, bringing up this thing that happened in college 26 years prior to that, acting like he was a felon, which wasn't
Wow.
even true. They lied, but they couldn't do anything.
And I know Brad would have endorsed DeSantis first, but he's a Trump guy now. So
There you
Brad
go.
has, Brad is as MAGA as it gets.
Well, quite frankly, I don't blame someone thinking DeSantis might have been a good option, and then you watch the implosion of that.
Yeah, in the
campaign.
beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
All right, let's go back. This is Nikki Haley in Minnesota.
I can't believe.
Ooh.
You know, there very well could be more. But what I'll say is this. Don't get upset when you hear a protester like that. And the reason is my husband and every other member of the military sacrifice every day for her right to do that. This is a time where we need a leader with moral clarity. And I'll point you back to
All right,
something
I
Donald
can't.
Trump.
I can't even watch. I can't even. I would not vote for this lady.
Yeah,
She
that
wants
By the
seemed
way,
like
I
a-
do not appreciate. Oh, my husband and all the people in the military. Then stop trying to send them to fight on these foreign wars.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Because
true.
that's what
You know,
you are.
I was
that's
thinking
what she
about,
represents.
Trump attacked her husband lately. He was like, "Where's her husband?"
he
and
really?
Yeah, and but the thing was, like, I mentioned that to someone, and they said, Trump is usually so far ahead of some stuff that, like, maybe her husband is involved in some, dirty business or something. I don't know,
Actually, wasn't Trump ahead on Fonnie Willis? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and that's the thing. He's been ahead of, like, so many things where it's like, what is he talking about? And then, like, it actually ends up being true.
Yeah,
You know,
that's an
so
interesting
it's
one.
one of those things. Yeah, he called out the Fannie Willis thing, like, a long time ago. He was saying, I think her affair is going to come back to bite her. He was saying that, like, right when
Right.
the case was happening.
Yeah,
So
and I was
almost
like,
think,
what? I remember saying, what evidence does he have? And now she's on
Right,
trial. Basically.
exactly. So that's why, like, I bet there's something to that. There's got to be something to Nikki's husband. I mean, I haven't done the digging quite yet, but I mean, Trump wouldn't say that without any reason.
All right.
You know?
What were you going to say, Bridget? And then we're going to go to what Richard Painter has to say about it.
Oh, I was just going to read
Yeah.
a comment. T-Wall said, is she really wearing a jogging suit? And then other people chimed in.
Well, as far as I know, wasn't this like a layover speech almost? She was like on and off an airplane super fast.
It was clearly a layover speech, which would be all of her speeches.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
I'm just flat today. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I
cannot
kind
tell
of
a
like that
joke.
one. That was kind of funny.
Well, you threw me off today, Dustin. I'm going to blame it on you. Go to line 20, Dustin. Fonnie Willis in a lot of trouble, having to cough up her cell phone records and stuff like that. What does Richard Painter have to say about it? Where are Donald Trump's cell phone records from November 2020 election through January 6, 2021? That's what we're waiting for. There you go. That's what Richard Painter has to say about it.
Is
All right.
anybody waiting for that? Does anybody care?
Yeah, Richard Painter does.
Painter,
Oh,
yeah.
well,
That's
you
why
know
you
what?
should care. Okay? That's why you should care. He was the chief White House ethics lawyer 2005, 2007. Same time frame when they went and invaded. Well, I guess that's 2 years after they invaded Iraq. That's during the surge. Ethics lawyer for that. All right. Final thing to talk about. Let's see here. 48% Democrats want to replace Biden. Tucker sent that to me earlier.
Don't forget the YouTube, new YouTube.
The new YouTube. What do we want to do? We want to show people how to find it?
I'll post the links in the
Okay.
chat and stuff, but there is a new YouTube channel for the Truth.
Can you
Hurts
pop it up real
specifically.
quick, Dawson?
Yeah, let me grab it.
So we were using Extra for Liberty's YouTube, providing them just excellent content, right? Just great content. Now it's on you, Mort. You got to create all the content. You know, I told Mort he should do the behind the smoke screen more often. That was a damn good show.
He hated doing that.
I
though.
know, and I don't get it. Well,
I
he says he
like that.
hated it, but then at the same point he liked it. But it was probably more fun when he was in the legislature. Here's the deal. Like, it's so freaking tough to do shows. I mean, it's just so much work that goes into it. Then you got to perform. And Mort's a really busy guy. He's got 2 jobs, you know, at least 2 that I know of. So, you know, it is what it is, unfortunately. But
I'm working on finding this thing. It's giving me
maybe I just need to produce behind the smoke screen. He comes in and does it.
since it's
Maybe.
a
With all
new
that time I
channel,
have,
it's
I
a-
guess. 2 stories left. We got Finke assault weapons ban. I got to talk about this because I want to shit on Esme Murphy. And then if we get time, we'll talk about Joe Rogan with Kid Rock.
Here we go.
Finished up in about 14 minutes. What do we got here? Oh, this is a channel.
Yep.
Truth
it's
Hurts on
Hurts
YouTube.
News specifically. I'll
So
post links.
technically, this YouTube channel has not been banned ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we basically, oh look, Dave Osmick's right. We have no views.
Yeah.
We spent the last couple weeks, or Dawson, I should say, spent the last couple weeks uploading content. So all of our shows should be on there, and then we'll be posting the Fast Five, which is. Did I talk about this yet?
You have not? No.
Headlines. All right. You see that one down there on the bottom with the golden bar? That's the Fast Five, where we give you news stories in 5 minutes or less. That was show number 1 that we recorded yesterday, and I did it in 6 minutes, 30 seconds. So no rules. This is gonna be like the pizza reviews. 1 bite, everyone knows the rules, you know, and then it takes like 3 bites. Like, we're gonna have rules. I'm never gonna follow the rules. No, honest to God, I'm gonna try to keep it under 5 minutes. All right. We were just testing it out yesterday. So Fast Five, it's gonna be a daily thing. It's gonna be an audio too. So if you're in a commute, a lot of people don't have time to listen to this whole show. So you'll get the headlines that matter the most to you. Jesse, did you agree to do some of these? Or are you still in negotiations?
Yeah, we can definitely do
There you
that.
go.
Yeah,
Good.
I just got an email from Nikki Haley. I'm checking that out.
Oh,
It
go
says,
ahead. Read it live on air.
Yeah, thank you for joining me in Minneapolis. I didn't go, but
It's Bloomington, but okay.
yeah, yeah, and let's see. It's just getting feedback for it.
Da-da-da.
What's interesting
Bomb-
is that,
bomb
a lot
Iran.
of this, from what I'm seeing, a lot of this is about the primary. She doesn't seem to care a whole lot about the caucus. No mention of the caucus in this email. So yeah, she obviously does know what she's doing
Trump
here
put
in
out a
Minnesota.
text on the
Yeah,
caucus.
Trump put out a message about the caucus. Nikki Haley obviously hasn't gotten the message.
He's probably worried that they're gonna
Rig
not
it.
have him bound and rig it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because David Hand would probably do something like that, right?
Probably.
All right, let's go to this Finky.
Oh, Tucker, really quick.
Yeah.
$20 rubber rant. One of the few days I don't work. Would be great to have a long show today. Here's for the overtime.
Oh, thanks, Tucker. This is the problem that we have. when people stick around, and then especially when they do Rumble rants into that second hour, we never thought these would go more than an hour. And then you guys do Rumble rants and stick around. It's like, well, if they're here, we're gonna stay.
I wish that these Rumble rants would come in to extend our show prep time, because that's where a lot of our talking goes.
You asshole.
I mean,
that was your fault this morning.
I caused a lot of
You
it.
were going back and forth. I swear to God, Dawson. I can't.
I'm learning a lot.
Oh, yeah. Sure, that's it. We actually like Dawson around here, by the way. Even though he...
Can you believe it?
He means good. As they say in the South. As they say in Lindsey Graham's home state, bless his heart. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. What was I going to talk? Oh, so let's go to Lee Finke. This is line 10. Lee Finke, Chris Finke, right? Tucker? Well, I think when Tucker does a Rumble rant, I have to call him Chris Finke. Chris Finke doubles down on the establishment bill. Actually, the title of this story, because, it's nice running your own news network. You can create whatever title you want. Nutjob Rep Lee Finke doubles down on an assault weapon ban. Lee Finke, a man who wants to be called a woman at the Minnesota Capitol, has backed one of the worst gun control bills to be introduced this legislative session in St. Paul. His bill, by the way, I read this story on CBS, and we're going to get to this video, and they just go out of their way to keep referring to Lee Finke as she. It's so funny to watch this dance that they have to play. We just do the opposite. His bill, HF 3570, would make it illegal to sell or transfer what is described as an assault weapon that includes many of the popular semi-automatic sporting rifles used by Minnesota sportsmen. I used to use these too until I lost it in a tragic boat accident, just FYI. Finke's bill also establishes a government-run buyback program with an undisclosed appropriations amount attached to it to make the purchases using taxpayer money. So wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? We have to pay our taxes just to go buy assault weapons. I don't know what they do with them. Burn them? Melt them down, I mean. Despite the Capitol Press stating the bill stands very little chance of passing the Democrat-controlled legislature, WCCO's recycled reporter Esme Murphy brought Finke on her show this past weekend to discuss the bill. This is the second week in a row that Murphy has used her platform to attach the tragic Burnsville police murders to call for new gun control. Note, the individual who shot 2 cops and 1 first responder was not allowed to have firearms and disobeyed the laws when committing his murderous act. That's just lost on people. The law's on the books. He didn't follow. He wasn't supposed to have a gun. He still had a gun, right? So, good job. Didn't work. By the way, you don't hear much about the shooter, right? Because
no,
not a MAGA supporter or white person, so the narrative isn't as good. Isn't that funny? And that's the sad thing. It wasn't this Ann Coulter. I just talked about this, how... Well, I think it was the Kansas City.
Yeah,
she's like, I know it was a white
shooter
or not a white shooter because we don't know anything about the person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah,
sadly
she said
true.
that on Bill Maher, right?
I think so. All right, pull up the Esme Murphy interview. Recycled reporter Esme Murphy. Now, why do I not like Esme Murphy? Why am I being hard on Esme Murphy? Well, other than just being awful, like huge lefty. Like, look at you. 2 weeks in a row, you're talking about gun control on the wake of this tragic event that had nothing to do with gun control, because clearly gun laws didn't work, right? So you want more gun control, more laws that just don't work for guys like that, and you're only affecting us? So screw them. Esme Murphy's also just a has-been. Now, personally, do you remember this, Bridget, when Neil Shaw was on her show? Do you remember this? You don't remember this?
I kind of remember that.
It was the worst interview. I've never seen like Neil Shaw. Why would you be hostile to Neil Shaw? And she's just hostile and just awful person.
I kind of remember that. She said,
oh my God.
She said, do you really think Minnesota needs to be saved, or do you think it just needs tweaking?
Yeah.
And he said, no, it needs to be saved.
Now watch. I should have this queued up. Giving Neil Shaw, like, just a good family man, good guy, first time person, a hard interview, which, by the way, journalists should give hard interviews, right? But they don't do it equally. Now watch this puff piece for Lee Finke, which, by the way, if you notice the sound, it's Lee Finke breathing. I don't know what is wrong with Lee Finke.
In the aftermath of the tragic killing of 3 first responders last week in Burnsville, proposed gun control measures are getting a second look at the
Can you stop real quick? Stop real quick. Bridget, is it
Yeah.
common for women of that age to have painted eyebrows, like literally just painted on there?
Of that age, I mean, I see it fairly often.
Is that pretty common?
Yeah,
I think so.
I said it in show prep, but my grandma had hers literally tattooed on.
Yeah, definitely grandmas. I see that
Oh, interesting.
Fairly often,
If it's
yeah.
tattoo, well, I guess it's still moving.
Or they just still pencil it
Okay.
like a
I
straight
didn't know
line.
some just phony like media thing. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Are getting a second look at the Minnesota legislature. Among the bills being considered, tougher storage laws, mandatory reporting of stolen weapons, and several proposals that would ban assault weapons or
Listen,
sales
Lee
of those
Finke.
weapons. These bills had already been proposed before
Do you hear
last
that?
week's fatal shooting in Burnsville. The author of one of those bans is St. Paul Representative Lee Finke, and Representative Finke joins me now. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for the invitation.
All right, you had this bill long before the tragedy last week. What would your bill do?
So this bill would prohibit the sale or transfer of semi-automatic weapons in the state of Minnesota, and it creates a buyback program for those who would be interested in relinquishing their arms.
You've got a companion bill in the Senate. Why did you do
All right. That's enough. You get the gist of it. What is that? I mean, who breathes like that? So crazy.
I'm not still convinced that it is her breathing, because at
It's
one point
it's his, but it is.
At
No,
one point,
Dawson.
no. At one point, you hear like a pen drop on the ground somewhere in the background, and that doesn't get caught up in a mic like that.
But
So
you can literally hear the breathing stop. Actually, you could watch the nostrils. On the.
It looked like it was Finke.
That's why I'm thinking that the problem is that they just have a mic turned up way too loud because it's picking up everything. So I don't think it's a Finke problem. I think it's an audio problem.
Oh, you're saying so normal breathing would have done that?
No, you wouldn't be able to hear. Like,
go ahead. What do we got?
Gregorino 29 says, why don't we just propose a law to make it illegal to shoot other people? That should work, right?
Yeah. You know what? And while we're at it, also killing him too, we should have that law
Yeah.
on the books.
Bridget,
Because then everyone will follow it.
Bridget, can you do me a favor?
What?
Sure,
Can you,
what?
Can you breathe heavy?
No.
Well, okay.
Why would you do that to Bridget? That's so mean.
I want to test it out right now.
No, I get
Why
it.
don't you do it?
Yeah, why don't you do it?
Because I have a mic like this.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, I guess I do. Am I the only one that has got a mic?
Because
Yeah,
I
but
haven't
see,
heard.
Then Lee Finke's going to take the video of Bridget and use it against.
I haven't heard your breathing at all, so I think I'm just a
think I
better
breathe
audio
super
producer.
Well, okay.
heavy.
Well, here's the difference. Bridget breathes like a woman, and Finke somehow breathes like a man. I don't know. I don't
All
understand how
men
that
breathe
works.
super heavy?
right?
I have a. Okay, yeah.
Weird how that works because they're both women, right?
I have a feeling I'm just a better audio producer than theirs is.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give it to
and
you
how many
without
staff
having to
does
breathe heavy.
WCCO have,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you gotta wonder.
Oh my God. Oh, Lee Finke. This is a crazy person. Absolute crazy person. All right, I want to end on this. Joe Rogan had Kid Rock on his podcast. Do you have this queued up and ready to go?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got it ready.
This was the most interesting part of the conversation I heard, where they were both discovering the national debt. I just freaking love how much Joe Rogan is waking up every day to more of the bullshit out there. He was going with Kid Rock, and I think this is an interview technique by Joe Rogan, just kind of like going with his guests, doesn't want to be so much resisting it, wants to keep the conversation going, but sounded very pro-Trump in many regards. But this was the most funny thing because, first of all, Kid Rock's no political genius. He's just a rocker, right? But they're uncovering the debt, and they don't understand it. This is okay. I'm not gonna say any more. Just play this right now. This is great.
Something. Why are we just giving fucking money away? Giving our resources. Oh, the fucking trillions we spent in Afghanistan, in Iraq?
So what's the answer to that, though? Why did they do that?
I have no fucking idea. I wish I had the answer. I'm not smart enough to know that.
Yeah. There's probably someone who could probably illuminate it for us, but...
Does the debt matter? I don't understand
Stop right
how
there.
the debt fucking matters.
Sorry, I should have had the warning there. It is a rocker, so of course language is a little more colorful. Great point, though, right? Why are we just giving this money? A point that I think has been brought up many times on this show. Whether you believe in giving aid to Israel and Ukraine and all this other stuff, I think you're crazy if you think you can keep funneling money through Ukraine. But even if you agree with that, with what money? We're flat out broke. We are $34 trillion in debt. So this is where the conversation goes. What does this even mean? And it's a valid point because a lot of people can't understand what the hell does that even mean.
You want me to play it now?
Yeah, that's what this is for.
I don't get it.
National debt?
Yeah. Everyone's always bitching about the debt, but we just fucking keep spending money. No business survives like that. That's just common sense. But they keep doing it. I'm like, it must not matter because we have the biggest bomb. It's like trying to collect from the biggest bully in school. Hey, where's my $20? I'll beat your ass. Okay, I'll get it next year.
Who do we owe all that money to?
they say China, they say this country, that. I'm like,
imagine if China just bought America. If like one day
imagine
they're
if
like,
they
oh,
tried
they own
to.
us.
Imagine if they tried to collect.
Watch
Look
this.
at all the people. USDebtClock.org. Oh my God! Look at how much money.
34 trillion.
Yo, look at how crazy this
Oh, get rid of
is.
my window there.
When you watch this, it's so insane.
Yet they're like, hey, we need to send another 60 billion here. We need to fucking 100 billion for this.
The thousands. Just look how quick the thousands go by. The
There's
thousands
another
in
100.
national debt.
There's another 100.
It's insane to watch.
It's bananas.
It's
they got
so
that ticker
weird.
in New York City.
Debt per citizen, $101,960. Debt per taxpayer, $265,178 per taxpayer.
I don't understand how that works.
That's so insane.
But I've never heard
How
it.
is that sustainable?
I've never heard it explained. I've heard politicians bitch about it, and we, our debt and this, that, and the other. I'm like, I don't get it. Why does
Yeah.
it keep going up if we can't afford it? My
What's
conclusion
going on?
is we can clearly fucking afford it. We just print some more fucking money or whatever.
Hey.
I don't get it.
There you go. There you go. And I love that conversation because that is two normal people, not experts on what's going on, just coming to the conclusion. I guess it doesn't matter because they can just print it. And I think if they elaborated on this and they went to another topic, the printing is the problem. In the end, the printing is what suppresses interest rates. Savers get robbed of more return on their money. It creates business cycles. And I think probably most importantly, it creates inflation in prices of goods and services, which really harm the middle income earners and the working poor. The ones the Democrats always say they're advocating for, the working poor, are the most adversely affected by the policies of large government. So there you go. I love it, man. Every episode, it seems like Joe Rogan's waking up more and more and understanding the real problems facing this country. That is the biggest problem. By the way, I've been saying this for like a decade. That's the biggest problem. And I still think it is. Although I would say the border is becoming close to that, right? We are literally being invaded. I saw this meme the other day, and it was something about like, God, how was it phrased? But it was basically like, oh, you know what? I bet I know who shared it. It was something about how many people have come across the border and how that relates to the size of our military. And it was like an insane amount. Let's see. I was thinking he sent it to me. Isn't that funny about memes? You don't remember who sent which. Nope, that is not the person that sent it to me. Totally forgot. Anyhow, I think it was like we would only have a problem if like they had 10 to 1 military-age men that were coming across the border or something like that. It was like, shit, I've totally screwed it up. Anyhow, I'll find that meme for next time. It was really
so
good.
wait, you were saying that like the amount of illegals is comparable to the size
The
of our
military-age
military?
men that are coming across the border outnumbers our own people in the U.S. military.
You said
That's
this was
disgusting.
you said this was a meme, not a statistic.
I might be using meme the wrong way. Meme usually means funny.
Well,
Just a picture.
Yeah. How would you describe a meme, Dawson?
a meme is something not to be taken seriously, but something like that sounds like you should be taking it seriously.
Exactly. I kind of think you're right. So I might. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? Did he send this to me? Shit. This is great. This is great TV here. Doing this on the fly. I get stuff sent by so many people. It's hard to keep track of who sent that to me.
Tucker wants to know when.
Was it Tucker that sent it to me?
No, but he just says, when are we all getting together for a range day? I don't know who we all is, but.
I would love to,
Listen,
but I don't own any weapons anymore. I lost them in that tragic boating accident. So, yeah, I totally forgot who sent that to me. And oh, you know what? Hold on, this might be the thread. There it is. Here we go. Okay. Hi. Yeah, it's. Oh, I posted this on Action for Liberty's Twitter account. Hi, I'd like a wake-up call. And it's like a guy in a hotel bed. And then it's the woman answering military-age males. Okay, I'm screwing this. Go to Action for Liberty's Twitter
I'm
account.
already on it.
All right. You see the meme?
Give me a second.
This is. Look how terrible. I'm off my game here. Like, there's no good jokes coming from my mouth today. This is a meme.
Brad's blaming it on me.
And I said it's probably true. Bridget, don't distract Jake during show prep.
I'll take
Bridget
it.
is not even in show prep. What are you
not
saying?
even here
That's
for
fake
show
news.
prep.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
still fake news. Hi, I'd like a wake-up call. Military-age males that entered the country illegally since Biden took office now outnumber the military 6 to 1.
That
Wow.
is dangerous. Whoa.
Now, I don't know. I haven't fact-checked it, but
Might be.
what is the, well, okay, but hold on one second.
Yeah.
The military, what is that, about 1.5 million strong, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So how many
6 to 1 day.
How many people have come across the border since Biden's been in office?
1.4 million active duty members.
1.4 active duty.
Personnel.
Are you sure that's active duty? I think that would be active duty and the reserves and guard.
Do all those illegal immigrants, can they enter the military? Like, do you think they're going to let them do that?
That's the conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
Is that this is actually really interesting. So
Yeah,
I mean, it is weird. Like, they're clearly coming here for a reason, and they don't look scared in those videos. You see them, and you're just like, what the heck?
Right.
Like, who's telling them to come? Why are they coming? What's their plan when they get here?
Yeah, and Senator John Cornyn says, let's see, I'm not sure when he said this, but he said that they have logged at least 5.4 million illegal border crossings. So, I mean, yeah.
Who's that from again?
Senator John
logged
Cornyn, Texas U.S. Senator.
Say the number again.
5.4 million.
5.4.
Yeah, so I mean.
So I think the 6 to 1 is probably
But
taking the
that's
total.
at least 5.4 million. That's what they've tracked.
It's
you
a
know?
freaking meme. The
Yeah.
point is, it's still
it's
outnumbers our
probably
military.
in that range is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, it's still outnumbers our military. That should be a big concern to people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Damn good meme.
Yeah.
I totally messed that one up, though.
Wait. Sorry, I'm going to keep on playing this part. The Texas guy said that many illegal immigrants just in Texas or across the whole?
No, he was saying $5.4 million. I mean, 5.4 million border crossings at least.
I think
Just in Texas, though?
No. He was. I think he was just
total
saying
along the
generally.
border.
I think that the thing that's going to make this meme incorrect based on those two numbers that we have is just that's illegal immigrants total. This is saying military-aged males.
Yeah, but 6 to 1. Who cares if it's 6 to 1? If it's 1 to 1, isn't that a concern?
Well, you said it's probably true in the meme, so.
But you even said a meme shouldn't be taken seriously,
Yes,
right? You know,
yeah.
it's whatever it is, it's obvious that
Can you
the illegals.
Google this real quick? 6 to 1 military age man. Let's see if there's someone that reported that.
Tucker says, I know they already have a program to speed up citizenship status for volunteering to serve.
And we aren't the only country. I mean, the Legionnaires are the French. That's the famous thing where you don't have to be actually a French citizen to serve in their military.
What is your opinion on immigrants joining the U.S. military?
Well, here's a conspiracy. Because generally speaking, I think it's great. Like somebody wants to join America and they're willing to stand up and fight for America. But the conspiracy, and I think this actually has to get a lot of credibility, is that, and I say this all the time, okay, there's a civil war and the military is going to enact martial law on the U.S. population. I go, wait a second. I know the military, right? Like, I've been out for 11 years or whatever it's been. I went to the deployment ceremony of the Red Bulls, 34th Infantry Division headquarters, which is now going to Kuwait. I have friends on that deployment, a guy I coached football with on that deployment. My kids are friends with them. The commanding general. I know the commanding general. I served in Kosovo with the commanding general of the Minnesota Red Bulls. Okay? I know these people. Okay? These are patriots. I don't really worry about a lot of these guys turning guns on us. So the conspiracy is you bring in a lot of people who aren't loyal to America, who are going to follow orders, illegal orders, because that's another thing about the military. You don't follow illegal orders. You're culpable under UCMJ when you get an illegal order. And an illegal order would be turning guns on U.S. citizens, right? So how would you enact this martial law in a Civil War kind of period? You do it by having an influx of non-citizens join your military. And you train them how to actually kill, and then you turn that force on American people. Now, this is Star Wars. They did this with a clone army, right? But in the end of the day, that is actually something that I think needs to be taken in consideration. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. You don't train fully functional units. You'd have to infiltrate the officer corps and the NCO corps to do this. Because if you just had a bunch of privates, through base training, which, quite frankly, joining the military, you'd be a private joining a unit within 3 months, right? So you could do that pretty quick. But they're still being led by NCOs and officers. So I just can't. It wouldn't happen overnight. But we do need to be concerned about that stuff. And so, yeah, outnumbering the military, but I think the bigger concern also is chaos. And maybe it's not orchestrated, but when you see the amount of Chinese that are coming over here and people of other countries, and if you don't think ISIS has infiltrated our border, you're insane. We know Al-Shabaab has infiltrated our border. We caught that guy in Minnesota. So even if it was completely organic and not orchestrated by a foreign entity, but you have a bunch of military-aged men that could conduct violence. In fact, this just happened in Georgia, was it? Yeah, Georgia. A woman was killed on a college campus by an illegal immigrant. So this does happen, and it could happen in mass scale. And this is also another reason why Lee Finke, that crazy person in the Minnesota House, is trying to stop the sale of assault weapons, as they put it. What is an assault weapon, right? They do define it in that bill. But this is why it's so important to have an armed population, especially when your federal government is failing you. The idea that they are not protecting our border, and then at the same time a Democrat says we want to take your weapons away from you, that's bullshit right there. That's complete bullshit. We have a Second Amendment really for a tyrannical government, but just in the basic understanding of human life and protecting human life, we have a Second Amendment to protect human life from anybody that wants to cause us harm. And you can't protect the border. And now we know there are terrorists that are coming across the border and ended up in Minnesota. Don't take my right to keep bear arms. Not for a second. My family's gonna be protected. Well, if I can go find them in that lake, right?
I'm gonna do a rare Dawson thing, and I'm gonna agree with you completely on that note.
Oh my God!
I think that Second Amendment stuff is pretty damn close to. It doesn't make any sense to take guns away from people because they'll just find them anyways.
Guys, I am like, let's end it there.
Yeah. Look at that.
I didn't know where Dawson was on this issue. I didn't care, really.
Did you not know?
No.
Have you ever shot a gun, Dawson?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I have.
And I shot an M249 saw. I watched it.
Oh yeah, you did. You said that.
Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I still haven't gotten that video. I need that to show my mom.
Yeah, he had belt-fed 5.56. I was gonna say 223. 5.56 NATO.
That one was
80 rounds.
That one was fun, but honestly, I think that the handgun was more fun. I like using that one.
Than the machine gun?
No, just the pistol, I guess.
Yeah, but you thought that was more fun than the machine gun. That's what the 249 saw was.
Yep.
Alley
Cat says there's a camp of Chinese illegal immigrants doing target shooting at the California border.
Not shocked by that.
Yeah.
What was the gun? I think it was the Navy SEAL package we did.
I think so, yeah.
But I don't think the SEALs had a Beretta 9, so I think you shot a 6-hour. It was a 9mm, I think.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Nice.
You got to teach me still how to.
And an MP9, you shot MP9 too, which is cool.
You got to show me how to get that license going because I'm gonna move out soon. Gonna need one.
MP5, sorry, 9mm, which is well, that was the one that. Wait, I shot different weapons than you guys because they were gonna give me an AR, and I was like, I'd rather shoot this Belgian one.
I don't remember.
I should say an M4 because this was these guys had the the license for the fully automatics, obviously. All right, anyhow, let's end it there. How's that sound? Thanks for the overtime, Tucker. We went way late.
Yeah, and the Washington Post says it's scary and racist to refer to immigrants as military-aged men. Just call them men. Okay, so, but yeah, I wasn't finding anything on the specific statistic we were talking about. But yeah, tons of stuff about Chinese coming into our countries and lots of illegal immigrants. They've obviously outnumbered our military, something that we cannot stand for.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to caucus tonight. I was distracted. My neighbor was texting me. All right? We're getting her to go, okay? Talk to your neighbors. Talk to your friends. It's very simple. If you're sick of rhinos, establishment hacks, leftists running politics, you go to your caucus. Because, quite frankly, we outnumber them. We just have to show up. They want to sit at home watching Netflix and doing nothing. Once you take power in your own hands and go to caucus, then we win. Politics is a numbers game. So go to actionforliberty.com. Right on the top, you'll see caucus info. Click on that. You'll find everything you need to know. Actionforliberty.com, caucus info. Thank you to our sponsors. And I'll tell you what, our sponsors want you to go to caucus too. And I know Warren Wetzel Realty, will be at his caucus in Maplewood. I think it's Maplewood. I don't know if he's still in Woodbury. That's how we got to know Warren. 612-419-7453. If you're buying or selling a home, also thank you to Alpine Cabinetry in East St. Cloud. We appreciate you guys making the show happen with your Rumble rants, your comments. Make sure you like this show. Go check out our new YouTube. Subscribe to that. Check out our Fast 5 your headlines in 5-ish minutes or less. I'll break that rule a lot. What else do I need to pitch?
You say locals?
Locals, yep.
What's that?
I just said locals.
Locals. Local. You got to get on local. Bridget, we get on locals.
Will I get on locals?
Bridget, will you do locals? Can you go on locals? Create an
Like,
account.
sure.
Okay, Bridget's on locals. There you go, Tucker. So there's a reason for you to get on locals too. If you want to follow, and are you on locals yet, Jesse?
I might be. I saw someone about Roger Stone on there, but I mean,
There you go.
not actively. But
There you go.
I'd have to go and mess around. We'll see.
Well, we're gonna mess around too. We're learning with us, okay? Because we need social
God
media is
Save
a
Our
great
Republic
tool.
says absentee ballots for caucus.
What's that?
I don't know what that means. God Save Our Republic says absentee ballots for caucus.
No, you can't. You gotta show up. I mean, if you want to run for a delegate, you can become a delegate in absentia. You got to know somebody, and they got to vote you in a caucus. There's a lot of cheating out there. A lot of cheating in Morrison County, although it's in good hands now. Otter Tail County. I know what you guys are up to. You got to vote in on caucus night. It's in the law. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday. Take care.